Researchers conducting research projects that involve human beings must follow legal and ethical guidelines for such research to protect their human subjects. According to the law, researchers must follow three ethical principles. The three ethical principles are respect for persons, which includes the requirement of a voluntary informed consent process, beneficence, which entails an obligation to protect persons from harm by minimizing risks and maximizing benefits, and justice, which requires that selection of subjects be fair and equitable, and that particular care be taken when working with populations like children or decisionally impaired whose status puts them in a vulnerable position. At universities, the Human Subjects Committee or Institutional Review Board is charged with ensuring that all research involving human beings is carried out in an ethical and legal manner. All researchers studying human subjects must submit a protocol or proposal outlining their research to the IRB for approval prior to any engagement with the human subjects. An IRB protocol is a proposal for research employing human participants that the researcher, called a PI or Principal Investigator, intends to undertake. The Institutional Review Board or Human Subjects Committee reviews protocols on behalf of the university to determine if the proposed research has appropriate safeguards in place for protecting human subjects. The Human Subjects Committee is a board of faculty and community members charged with reviewing human subjects applications. Members are drawn from a variety of research disciplines and represent many types of scholarship. The committee reviews full committee applications once a month, and individual members review exempt and expedited applications throughout the year. Members take seriously their teaching mission at the university and help other researchers learn appropriate ways to conduct research involving human subjects. A human subject means a living person about whom a researcher obtains either data through intervention or interaction with the individual, or identifiable private information. Intervention is defined as a physical procedure by which data are gathered, or manipulations of the subject or the subject's environment that are performed for research purposes. Interaction is defined as communication or interpersonal contact between an investigator and subject. Private information is defined as information that is specific to an individual person and that can be identified as belonging to that specific person. When information is identifiable as belonging to a specific person, obtaining and studying the information involves human subjects, even if the researcher has no personal contact or interaction with the subjects. As defined by the United States Department of Health and Human Services, the term research means a systematic investigation, including research development, testing, and evaluation, designed to contribute to generalizable knowledge. When evaluating a specific project, focus on two key elements: that the project involves a systematic investigation, and that the design, meaning the goal, purpose, or intent of the investigation, is to develop or contribute to generalizable knowledge. Having only one of these properties means that the activity is not research and does not fall under the legal statute regarding human subjects. Human subjects research includes things like surveys, interviews, experiments with human participants, engaging or observing human participants completing an activity or task, studying human interaction with objects, information, or each other, and collecting data regarding human subjects, whether or not there is an interaction with them. Here are some examples of human subjects research in music. interviewing music teachers about teaching methods, questionnaires about music engagement activities among college students, surveys about applications of a particular performance technique, or music therapy intervention to determine whether application of music affects pain levels during treatment in a hospital environment. Human subjects research does not include, for example, the following: surveys for evaluating the performance of faculty, staff, and students, or other studies for internal institutional use only, something that would not fall under a research activity; oral history of New Orleans jazz artists or interviews with individual famous teachers regarding their pedagogical techniques. In this case, the information is not gathered for generalizable knowledge; or observing people where their identifying information is not collected and there is no interaction with them. Researchers who are working with human subjects and hope to publish or distribute their research must prepare and submit a human subjects protocol for their project to be reviewed and approved prior to beginning any research with human subjects. This is a part of the checklist in the Graduate Dean's Office for all master's and doctoral projects involving human subjects. Many music projects involving interview procedures are classified as oral history, which includes research described as ethnography or biography. In oral history projects, the participants are asked about their own thoughts, opinions, memories, and observations, which are presented as one person's viewpoint and are not considered representative of experiences of others. Oral history projects are not considered generalizable knowledge and not required by law to be reviewed. However, at the university, all student research involving human subjects must be submitted for IRB review so that the university can make the determination if the project falls under oral history. For oral history, you will need a consent form and release to be able to use the comments from your informants in your dissertation, even though an IRB-approved consent form may not be required. If you feel your project is oral history, prior to completing an IRB protocol, contact Professor Clendening, the Humanities and Fine Arts member on the Human Subjects Committee, or the Human Subjects Office staff regarding the project to have it reviewed. They will provide a pre-review of your project to determine if it falls under oral history or if a full IRB protocol and committee approval are needed. Class projects that are not intended to result in public display, distribution, or publication do not have to go through the IRB. Proper human subjects procedures should be followed, however. Please note, any projects without IRB review prior to initiating research activities will not be able to be reviewed later, even if the researcher decides after working with human subjects that the project is worthy of public display, publication, or distribution. The IRB Protocol is an official proposal that outlines the type of research you are proposing. You will complete the protocol after your graduate committee and/or faculty advisor have reviewed and approved your research project. At Florida State University, the IRB protocols are submitted using an online form and are electronically transmitted to the Human Subjects Office, then on to reviewers on the Human Subjects Committee. Instructions for preparing your IRB protocol are available on the Human Subjects Committee website, and the instructional materials are available through the College of Music Graduate Office. The process of preparing the IRB protocol will help you think through and plan every step of your research project, including assembling materials you need to conduct your research, such as surveys, questionnaires, and consent forms. Allow at least a month for the protocol approval process, and 2 months if you also need approval by other IRBs, such as public or private schools or hospitals. Protocols that go to full committee normally clear within a few days after the full committee meeting. Protocols that are approved for expedited review may take 1 to 4 weeks for the IRB committee member to review them, depending on the time of year and that person's schedule, and you need to allow time to prepare revisions prior to the final approval. This concludes the video on the Introduction to Human Subjects Research. For more information, visit the FSU Human Subjects Committee website listed here.